What's
up? So we are here in my NSX. I'm in the passenger seat, as you can see. This is my buddy Terence.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We're just gonna see what a drifter's impressions of a mid-engine stock NSX is gonna be. Because this guy he's not a Formula D, but he might as well be based on what I've seen, the way he drives. He's got a S13 240SX with a LS1 swap, 500 horsepower. I'm going to be reviewing that car pretty soon at the Autocross, so that's going to be a video to look out for. Yeah, I haven't seen this guy in a couple years, and I told him to just come down and just drive
your baby
and see what happens. Yeah. So
yeah.
First impressions, just sitting here.
Man, this is it's like, I don't know, just 90s. It just screams 90s. Like,
right?
I love it. I love it. And the seating position.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm like, I may as well like be on a like lounge recline chair,
yeah.
You know? Yeah.
What height are you?
6'1". Yeah.
Okay, so the thing with that is the stock seats are kind of high up, so you're like your head's like kind of hitting.
My hair is like hitting it. Yep.
Yeah, but for me it's literally perfect. But I think if the seat could be like a couple inches lower, it'd be perfect.
There's no height adjustment.
There's no height adjustment.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just lean back.
Yeah, like I said, original clutch. So just watch the revs a little bit.
All right, we didn't kill it. That's good. Man, I missed the pop-up headlights back when I dailied my 240. Stock clutch, huh?
Yeah.
How many miles on this thing?
110,000.
Whoa. It's holding
up.
up
There. Yeah.
It's holding up.
The original owner of the car passed away a few years ago, sold it to the second owner, who then sold it to me. And the original owner was apparently a member of the Shelby racing program. Like back when Carroll Shelby was racing, back in the 60s.
Actually, I forgot to do this mirror too.
So yeah, the original owner took really good care of the car in terms of maintenance, but he did drive the car a lot. He put like over 90,000 miles on it. And when he passed away, his wife is the one who sold the car to the second owner. The second owner kept it mostly stock. It'll clear.
Speed bumps? All right.
Yeah, just take it slow in first gear. The second owner drove it for maybe 3 years before he kind of decided he was kind of done with the whole having all these nice possessions, I think is what he said. So yeah, passed it on to me. And I have like this gauge, so it's got all the temperatures and everything.
Is it warmed up?
So it's all warmed up, so if you want it, go for it.
I'll wait for a stoplight or something so I can start with the first gear pull.
All right.
Don't want to spoil it.
You don't want to ruin the experience. Yeah. Do it right the first time.
Yep.
You actually want to hit the left lane.
Dude, if you just look at my face, I'm just like all smiles right now. I've been dailing a truck, a Silverado, you know, so like, this is awesome.
It doesn't have the torque of the Silverado though.
I guess you don't need it when my Silverado doesn't put a smile on my face like this, okay?
You're going to turn left up here.
Hey, visibility is not too bad.
Yeah, that was one of the things that they were really the original designers of the NSX focused on is like the greenhouse canopy effect. So they actually kind of modeled the greenhouse after the F-16 fighter jet at the time. So it's like really good 360-degree visibility.
Especially in the front, I noticed the dash sits so low.
You can see like exactly.
I can almost see the nose of the car. And it's crazy. Yeah,
the car's all stock though, except for the Momo steering wheel, which is like the same wheel as the Type R, so it's still kind of stockish. It has a Science of Speed shift knob, which is also modeled after like the Type S shift knobs. It's also kind of OEM-ish, and then it has this Defi gauge here.
Okay. This is stock?
That's not stock.
Oh, okay.
So the previous owner gutted out the radio and everything and put in this gauge, so it's got sensors hooked up for the oil temp, oil pressure, water temp, fuel pressure,
It almost
battery
looks
voltage.
stock though.
I know, right?
With the orange and everything.
Yeah.
The tranny seems really solid. I like it.
Yeah.
There's like no wobble.
There's no wobble. Like the S2000 tranny is still my favorite feeling transmission, but it wobbles like mad.
Yeah. For 110,000, this is crazy how tight this tranny is.
Yeah.
This is probably the most flat dash I've ever seen.
Yeah. It gives you a feeling that you have a lot of space in the cockpit too.
I almost want to say this dash. I keep mentioning the dash, but it's just like so different than any dash I've seen. It almost reminds me of like old McLaren, like
like the F1,
the half round and like
turn right up there. Every NSX owner is super nerdy about this, but like Gordon Murray, turn right here.
Okay.
The guy who designed the original F1, there's like actual quotes of him talking about, you know, when he was designing the F1, he wanted to make sure it was a usable street car. So he test drove the contemporary Ferraris, Porsches, I don't know what else, a couple other exotic cars at the time, and then he drove the NSX last. And he's quoted as saying, the moment he drove the NSX, all the other sports cars, supercars, just vanished from his mind, because this car was the most streetable and comfortable and best handling out of all of them.
Wow.
Even if it was down on power, even if it was maybe like, you know, not the best performing on paper, but like just the feel of the car, like you comment, like the visibility, the transmission, the fact that the AC actually works.
Yeah.
It like
it has an AC.
The fact that it has an AC.
F40, right? Didn't it have AC?
Right. Well, he wasn't trying to model the F1 up there, the F40, but he drove like the 348 Ferrari, I think, and like that thing was probably the lowest point of Ferrari's history. Until this car came out.
I haven't even paid attention, but I bet we're turning tons of heads too.
It's actually stealthier than you would think.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't pay as much attention to this one, especially because it's silver. My red one, I got more attention for sure. But also, like, some people, when they see it, it's like, oh, like tiny 15-inch wheels. It's not like loud or anything.
Yeah.
But like the true car guys will always like give you a thumbs up.
The ones that are not messed with are so hard to find. It's like when you see a Mark IV Supra on like those chrome stock wheels, and you're just like, okay, that thing's bone stock.
Every time I see one of those, it's like, damn. I always do a double take.
Have you got to drive one of those?
Yeah, I drove a 700 horsepower one.
Oh, how was that?
It was fucking crazy. But it had NT01s, so it hooked up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, the straight line performance was mad.
Just like glued to your seat.
Yeah, 600 wheel, so I want to say around like 700 crank.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I don't skimp on this car. Like every single part I buy, I basically just buy the best that's available.
Yeah.
The S2000, I really don't. I couldn't care less, as long as it's functional.
Isn't that funny though? Like the cars that we like drive how we want to drive, we don't care.
We don't care about. Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny how that works, but it makes sense.
When you have limited budget, that's kind of the way you have to play.
True. You can't all be Jay Leno. You know, I'm enjoying this so much. I have like no like desire to even just floor it yet.
Really?
I'm just like, I'm loving it.
Just cruising.
Yeah.
In the 2 years that I've had, I mean, this car and my old red NSX, which is pretty much identical, it's been a really, really easy, comfortable daily driver. The only two things I would say that kind of compromises the daily drivability is one, the lack of power steering. So in parking lots, it's a pain in the ass and it has a really bad turning radius. The other thing being it's low, so you gotta like, you know, take ramps at an angle.
Yeah.
But besides that, like the AC blows cold, you know, the audio system works fine, all the electronics work fine. You know, the suspension's nice.
You mentioned audio. We should totally blast like some 90s, like, what is that, like Initial D music?
Initial D music,
oh my God.
Eurobeat, oh my God.
I'll dodge this thing.
The thing is, you don't even, I mean, yeah, I always dodge that, but you don't really have to.
Yeah, I kind of clipped the corner of it, and
yeah,
it felt great. You know, for being stock, this thing sits so low.
Yeah, so like my S2000's lowered a lot, right? But when I park next to it, you can tell I still sit lower in this car.
Yeah, like I can see clear under that Lexus in front of us. I'm like, we could just wedge the nose underneath the bumper, and we're not even
just shave the pop-ups.
Yeah, we're not even lowered. Can't imagine one of these like slammed and like sitting on the ground.
The only stock car that I've seen that's definitely lower than this is the Lotus Elise. But everything else is higher. Like even a Porsche Cayman, which is like a low car, it looks like a monster truck next to this.
This V6 sounds pretty nice.
Right now, I actually think it sounds like nothing. Like I feel like it just sounds like an Accord. It's not really until like 5,000.
Okay.
When the VTEC kicks in, that you really like it starts to show its character.
But I mean, like even just right now driving with the low end, like the like rumble almost of it.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of different than whatever anything else I've heard. But I haven't driven very many V6 cars.
Right. Well, you're a 350Z, right? So how does this compare to that in terms of like the low end?
Oh yeah. That was, you know, what is this? A 3-liter?
3-liter,
yeah. So, you know, 3.5.
So
I can't comment until I floor this thing.
Okay. But I mean, just like cruising around town, like
it's actually relatively similar. I would say, yeah. I mean,
so you had the HR version.
Yeah, 2008.
Right?
Yeah, HR.
That was like what, like torque-wise, 270 or something, somewhere around there.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was just under 3.
Okay.
Yeah. The HR, the hella reliable.
Hella reliable
compared to the DE.
Yeah, that's right.
I always made fun of the guys with 06 and older ones. I had 3 friends with Z's that were the older ones, the DEs, and every single one of them blew up their motors.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because of the oil consumption problems.
Wow.
So, like, if you're gonna get a Z,
just get
a 07 or 08. Like, you're doing yourself a favor.
Pro tip right there.
Yeah. So when did you get into NSXs? Like, take us way back.
All right. So the original story, I don't think I've ever told anyone this story before.
Let's hear it.
Is I was probably like 13 or 14 years old in like early high school days, maybe middle school even. I don't remember. But I was I'm gonna make a left here.
Okay.
I was playing my PS2, and my neighbor had given me this game called Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero. It's like kind of like Gran Turismo, but it's purely like street, highway racing in Tokyo. And I didn't know much about Japanese cars at the time, but I saw this one car that I unlocked one day, and I looked at it in like the menu where it had like showed the 360 view, and I was like, "What is this Corvette doing in a Japanese game?" And then it said NSX, and I was like, "Huh, I wonder what kind of car that is." And then like I had that really like long convoluted like description that like probably some Japanese guy like translated over, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then I started like looking up more information about the car, and I just completely fell in love with it. Like the whole Ayrton Senna backstory, the fact that the F1 shared a lot of inspiration from this car, the fact that, you know, the Drift King himself, Tsuchiya.
Oh
like,
yeah, he had a time attack one, right?
Yeah, he broke turn right here. He broke like the Tsukuba lap record.
Yeah, I forgot
with
about that.
JGTC. I think it was a GT500 maybe NSX.
Yeah.
And then
I think
he has
that was
a
his
Type R.
favorite car. Yeah.
Well, along with the 8.6, the S2000, and then this. Those are his 3 favorite cars. And just like everything about it was just amazing. And the fact that it's reliable. It's like a Japanese Ferrari, you know.
Yeah, and I think as far as holding value, it's like probably one of the highest.
Yeah. At one point they dipped really low, like during the recession, like 08, 09.
Yeah.
You could pick up like one of these for like 25 grand. But now they're back on the way up. Or they have been for a few years.
Just hang on to it, man.
Yeah. It's a plan.
Dude, I think cars can fix depression, man.
Right?
Like I just feel great right now.
Like when I'm sad, I just drive it doesn't even have to be this car, just any car that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Like you don't need therapy or pills, but just hop in a fun car, man.
A fun car.
You know, I don't even really notice the lack of power steering.
Yeah, once you get up to speed, it's fine. It's just in parking lots that it always sucks.
Yeah, it's like the car feels very light.
Yeah.
Like my Z, how much does this thing weigh?
3,000.
Okay, so my Z was around the same because it was a base model, you know, maybe like 3,100, but it just felt heavy.
Yeah.
And I've never driven a mid-engine or rear-engine before, so I never understood like what people meant by well balanced.
But yeah, it's not really like a great canyon car because the gearing's too long, which is, I don't know why they screwed us over in the US. Like the JDM version has perfect gearing, but this second gear goes to 81. like you mentioned, it feels light, but once you get in the hairpins, it's a workout for sure.
Okay.
Like the S2000
I look forward to that.
Yeah, an S2000 would eat this thing alive, like on a downhill.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go push too hard because it's on. What, is it on sticky tires or?
It's got almost like our compound. Yeah.
Should I let this guy go? I'll let him go.
Yeah, just let him go.
We got a camera. Radio on the edge of the apartment club. I hear anything about you guys going? I'm the sheriff sitting on top.
No worries, we're good. We're just shooting a little video. We're not going fast.
So that's an example of not a car enthusiast.
Yeah, exactly. We probably should have just gone when we had a chance.
Well, he would have radioed and we probably would have gotten worse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to launch it because I don't want to break anything,
The
but
clutch is pretty screwed.
I'll do it from like a 2-mile-an-hour roll. Ooh, I see what you mean by the sound.
Yeah. You don't really feel the VTEC though, right? It's like more linear.
Yeah. It sounds great though. My grip skills are much below par from Fenton's, so don't expect anything crazy. Hey, it still feels nimble. I love it.
You just feel like when you get on the power, the rear just settles.
Yeah, and the brakes are perfect. Like,
yeah. Stock brakes, I just put some pads and fluid.
my Z was on coilovers and big wheels, and it still felt heavier.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Oh, here's the guy.
Yeah, just take it easy down here.
And I always, is he on the radio? He is on the radio. Why is he on the radio?
Why is he on the radio? We're literally going 30 miles an hour.
I keep looking out the windows to
See
look
if
for
he's
the
behind us.
helicopter.
Oh, good, the helicopter.
It's such smooth power delivery.
Yeah, it's really linear.
You know, for being stock, handles really nice.
Yeah, it's more about compliance and like stability than anything else.
Oh,
Squirrel.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of this car right now. It's just
The seating position.
no, just the visibility.
Oh, the visibility.
Like, I don't have to guess where my nose is.
Right. That's kind of a common trait in a lot of mid-engine cars, but even then, I think the NSX does it better than most that I've driven.
Yeah.
Modern safety regulations, like pedestrian crash regulations, you can't get the nose that low anymore
Oh,
because it's like a
ramp
it's
for
like
someone
a ramp
else.
to like lift a person up if you crash into them.
Sometimes you just got to do that. So would you say, because you tracked your previous NSX,
Yeah, I did.
would you say that kind of spoiled it for you to now that you have to drive your S2000?
No, actually not at all. Because
No.
that car was bone stock, right? So it had the soft suspension, a worn out LSD. I mean, the brakes were okay, but the car was kind of heavy compared to an S2000, so it didn't really stop that great. And it has a real tendency to lift off oversteer mid corner, whereas the S2000 was already modded when I bought it, so it just, you know, performance-wise, it's at a different level.
Okay.
The NSX is enjoyable to drive, but it's not really a 10/10ths car. Like at 7 or 8/10ths, it's fun. Once you push too hard, it becomes it kind of falls apart a little bit, in my opinion.
I see. But would you say maybe that's because, you know, there was stuff that could have been in better shape on that?
Even if it had a new LSD,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing that was really worn out. I mean, the suspension was fine,
Yeah.
and it had nice tires on it.
Good brakes and everything.
Good pads and fluid and everything. Yeah, it's just the inherent design of the NSX is kind of compromised.
Really?
It feels really good up to 7, 8/10ths. But if you're pushing all out on the racetrack, it's just too street focused.
I see.
It's too soft. You get a lot of inside tire lift from the rear when you go into a corner, And when you get back on the power, the diff doesn't do a very good job at giving you that traction that you want.
I see.
So yeah, the S2000 is a much more like robust track car for sure, even
Okay.
stock.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. This is quite the view.
Yeah.
We're about to break some necks right now for these BRZ boys.
You just pull it up over like in that middle area.
Okay. The VIP parking.
Exactly.
Nice.
What did you think overall?
It exceeded what my expectations.
Really? What were your expectations?
I expected it to be really slow for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, just because, like, you
It's
know,
an
the
old
stuff
car.
you see on the internet, everyone's talking about Supras. The old, like, in this, for
That's
this
true.
generation,
That's
it's
a
like
good
all
point.
about the Supras and the Skylines, the turbo, you
Everything
know.
with turbo where you just
Yeah.
chip it and then boom,
Yeah,
500
and, like,
horsepower.
you see crazy drag race videos on YouTube of the Supras and Skylines, but you never really see the NSXs.
Right.
So I just, in my head, I guess that kind of like, there was like a false thought in my head that these were just
They're kinda
slow, but they handled great,
yeah.
you know. So like, I just was expecting it to be a little slower, but no, it's like good amount of power to have great fun.
I think part of it is, like you said, because you sit so low and you get such good front visibility, you know
Mhm.
everything that's going on. And,
Yeah.
you know, the steering gives you so much feedback. Like, even if you're not going that fast, it feels like you're going
Yeah,
fast.
and you can confidently drive this thing, and like, because of those factors.
Right.
You know where you're going. It feels light. You can see exactly where you're at, and
Yeah.
like from Nissans, other than the 240, and even the 240, like they just seem like massive cars,
Really?
or Nissans in general.
Yeah.
Just like big, bulky, and heavy. So like when you brake or turn, there's always that little extra weight you feel. Whereas this,
Right.
like I haven't really experienced. Like it almost reminds me of like a big go-kart. Like just
Yeah, a
the
little bit.
visibility, the small steering wheel, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
from
definitely
what I'm used to.
it's like a feel kind of car. It's not really about the numbers.
Yeah.
At the time, the numbers were pretty competitive,
Mhm.
to be fair, but at the end of the day, like, you know, the Vipers, the ZR1 Corvettes of the time were faster than this in pretty much almost every measurable benchmark,
Right.
but they weren't as regarded as highly, just because when you actually drive it, you have
Yeah.
to drive one to know. Like,
Yeah. I wish there was a section in like the brochure or like on the stats, like driving pleasure score, like
Yeah,
like
exactly.
10 out of 10
and
instead
it's
of.
funny you mentioned driving pleasure, because I feel like that's something that Japanese car reviewers do a great job at, and British, to be fair, but
Mhm.
especially Japanese, like in Best Motoring. I don't know if you remember, like some of the episodes where they're doing like the toge runs and
Mhm.
stuff on comparing different cars. They'll at the end, you know, Tsuchiya and whoever will have their like that whiteboard out, and they'll have like all these numbers that they rate, and it
Mhm.
adds up to like 100 max
Yeah.
or whatever. And there'll be like one column that's like, I think they call it like kakeyoro or something, which
Uh-huh.
literally means driving pleasure.
Oh, okay.
So like regardless of acceleration, grip,
Yeah.
braking, whatever, they just have one dedicated to just like pure pleasure,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of like missed in some of the other magazines of the time.
Yeah, I think that's huge. At the end of the day, no matter what car you're gonna get, you're not drag racing every day.
Yeah.
You're not dragging racing even on the street. Like, you're not gonna be launching your car like
And you're not going to
going
be
10 out of 10
like
all the
maximum lateral G's around every corner,
Yeah.
right?
time. But, like driving pleasure is huge, and I think that's something that people should consider more.
Right. Because you can't quantify a rating for how much feedback you get through the steering,
Right.
or shifting feel,
Right.
or like pedal position.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's
there's no
different for
numbers on
everyone too.
Yeah.
That's a difficult thing. Like some people, they're into drag, or they're into like trucks, or you know what have you.
Right,
And
right.
like, so it's different for everyone for sure. But you know, just from all the cars I've driven, like this is definitely up there.
Okay.
Like just the driving pleasure, and even like driving it now versus when it came out new. Driving it now, you just get that sense of like
Old school.
90s. Like the commercials that
Oh,
I've seen
yeah,
on
yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
just keep flying through my head right now, and I'm like,
Where that like
this is awesome. Like just like that guy with the deep
that,
Japanese
yeah,
voice.
exactly.
Yeah,
I know what you're
just-
talking about.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
all those things, and then like, you know, just that like feel good of like when people look at you and they're like, oh, an NSX. Like,
Yeah.
because then it's like a compliment, you know.
For sure.
So it's like all these other things that, like you said, you can't quantify.
I'm glad you agree with pretty much everything that. I mean, that's exactly how I feel about this car, and that's why.
To be honest, out of the three big ones, Supra, Skyline, and NSX, this was my least favorite.
Okay.
From until today.
Until today.
Until today. And I mean, I have yet to drive a Supra or an R34.
Right.
But like, this
well,
thing
I'll
is
tell
awesome.
you right now, I
this
haven't
thing's
driven.
awesome.
I haven't driven an R34 yet. I've driven an R32 GTST, and that's a fun car. But it obviously not being a GTR, it's not comparable to this.
Right.
The Supra is an incredible car in its own right, but it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's all about straight line performance, and it's, you know, it's really big and bulky and heavy, but it's really comfortable. It's like a GT car.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a GT car too, but it's more of, you know, it's kind of more of a handler, you know?
Yeah.
The Supra is not really a handler. It's got too much weight. The engine, I mean, the 2JZ is a huge, heavy engine out there.
Yeah, it's
in
like
front
a
of the front
boat
axle.
anchor. I chose the LS over that because of the weight issue.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a different experience, but as far as, so that's why I think sometimes people compare the big three or the big four Japanese cars of the 90s.
Oh, I keep forgetting the RX-7.
The RX-7. Yeah. It's really like kind of like apples and oranges. Like you can't really directly compare. You can only appreciate what's good about each car in their intended purpose, and then maybe what's not so good about each car in their intended purpose.
Yeah.
But you can't really compare them to each other without saying the word but. Like, but this car is not really meant for that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. And they're actually all really different. The you know, Godzilla, that was 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
This mid-engine.
Right.
The RX-7 and the FD, they weren't meant to do the same thing, even though they're both FR.
Or the RX-7
and the FD
Supra?
and the Supra, are both FR, but the Supra was meant for big power, and you know, and the FD was almost more like this, like lightweight and nimble.
It's almost like an S2000 in some ways.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you're right. It's not fair to compare all four of them.
Right.
It's just,
they
weren't meant to do the same thing.
Right. It's not fair to compare this car to a Supra and say, oh, the Supra's so much faster, because that's not what this car is meant for.
Right.
But it's not fair to compare a Supra to this, or a Supra to an FD, for example, and say, oh, the FD handles so much better, because the Supra is not really meant for handling. I mean, not to the same extent as the FD.
That wasn't their focus.
Right.
Just by looking, like,
you can tell just by looking at it.
What they put in it and how they built it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So
glad we agree on those points.
Yeah. I think you definitely turned me into an NSX fan today.
Well, someday you gotta get one.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to have like all the nostalgic 90s cars.
It's all about the nostalgia.
It's like all the cars that we grew up seeing and wanting, and then now we gotta go get them.
Exactly. But the problem is they're all skyrocketing in value.
Yeah.
It's getting really hard to get. Like, Supras are like, if you can even find an unmolested Supra to begin with, then you're pretty lucky. But finding one that's like affordable, like let's say like under 40 grand, good luck.
I've seen shells go for high 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm blown away by that.
I've seen NA Supras, which is like one of the saddest things you can possibly
NA automatic Supra.
go for like 25 grand. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, a Supra with the target top, that would be like
pretty sweet.
An awesome cruiser.
Awesome cruiser. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing your opinion on the NSX.
Thanks for
glad to get like, it's really cool seeing like someone who's never driven the car before give his opinion on it. And yeah, I'm really excited to drive your freaking loud monster.
The hybrid machine
of Japan and US.
It's pretty much all the purists. They're gonna hate it.
They're gonna hate it. But you know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's purpose built, I would say.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a drift monster.
Yeah.
So look forward to that. This camera's dead. This one's still going.
Okay.
So thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See ya.